I have a bag with things in it. We'll get there. Tomorrow's Monday. Oh, and it'll be a new year. Just thought I'd let you know. So who's really ready for this? Got your full 2018 all planned out? Ready to start? Or are you looking at it a little warily? You remember 2017. Where to begin? The way leads on. Okay, tonight we're going to wrap up the old year and we're going to have some whooping and popping and fizzy visiting with one another. It'll be cozy. It'll be good. Or perhaps this evening we'll wind up with a good book, a quiet evening at home. Both options are very nice. As long as you wind up safe and asleep, okay? I just want to make sure everybody's safe. Because tomorrow morning we're going to squint at a new year. And it's going to be looking us right back in the eye. January, named for the Roman god Janus, whose two faces could look backwards and forwards. Janus was the god of beginnings, doorways, openings and closings, change, transition. All of these things under the auspices of Janus. And no matter how dreadful the past 12 months might have been, we can no longer live there. They're over. And no matter how shimmering the next 12 months might be, we cannot live there either, for they are not yet. All we have is the right now, right? Now. I'm reminding us of this because of the demarcation of the new year. It's a nice little illusion. It's useful for record keeping and being able to show measuring year over year results. But it's still just an illusion. I'm reminding us of this because some of us are feeling a little spent, a little down from the past year, a little bit anxious about the next year. Some of us might respond to this by sweeping away all of the regrets with a vow to start anew, beginning tomorrow. Maybe you've noticed, I'm seeing all of these things in my Facebook feed, on the television, all of these ads and reminders for, if you go to the gym for 100 days, all of these ads for weight loss programs, and the fitness clubs are going to have all kinds of promotional discounts for first month, and we'll all be reminded that there's never any time like now to start, which is another way of saying you're not really enough. You're not living up to your potential. Bit of a disappointment, really. Unless you start doing and eating correctly. Let me remind us again that this is all just an illusion that some savvy people manipulate to make more money. I want us to notice, too, that the earth is not going to behave much differently tomorrow morning than it does today. We're still in the middle of winter. I want us to notice that other cultures place their new year, their beginning, closer to some visible moments of change or agricultural activities. The Asian lunar calendars celebrate New Year at the very edge of springtime, right when planting is going to begin. The Jewish New Year is observed in the autumn, It's actually the 7th month, but that's when they advance the calendar. I don't, but in the autumn, when the first chilly winds remind us to atone. But the Romans, they liked placing their new year, and they created Justinian's calendar, adjusted for some problems, and added 2 months, and they made the first one January. They liked placing it right after the winter solstice, because for them it felt like a good time for beginnings. So here we are at the beginning. And here is how we might begin. By noticing that every moment is new. And by reminding ourselves that we are very good at beginning. What makes us good at beginning is not by discarding everything that went before. Remember, Janus has 2 eyes on the past. We do still carry our wounds and debts as we go forward, but all we can change about the past is our narrative about it. Meaning you can't change how you experienced something awful or wonderful, but you can examine and revise your understanding and your stories of what made something awful or wonderful, or maybe even both. The only way we can change our past is changing our gaze upon it. And we can do that. And as for the future, we are very good at beginning over and over. Our skin cells regenerate, our livers rebuild, our whole bodies are always becoming. Each morning we are alive, we are beginning over. But how do we begin tomorrow? By resolving to be in this moment today, even the uncomfortable ones, because we have lived enough to know that there will be grief and there will be joy. Here are my simplest instructions. Keep your knees bent and don't forget to breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. If you need some more pointers, I can also recommend smiling and going slow and leaving some room for magic to happen, okay? Here are a few more ways of starting in the new, in the now. We're in Texas, so go ahead and eat those black-eyed peas and collard greens. They're good for you. Some of us might go ahead and make some resolutions to change. Not me. I am not resolving to lose weight. It might happen. And I won't resolve to finally read War and Peace either. It could happen too. Losing weight's more likely. Instead of resolutions, I usually begin the new year by considering, what am I going to carry with me? Literally, carry with me in my purse all the time. What do I want to make sure that I have with me no matter what might go down? Okay? And I'm going to choose very carefully, because I'm going to be lugging these things with me everywhere I go. Like, as much as I admire James Luther Adams, I am not going to carry 5 smooth stones. All right? Oh, and I got here are some of the things in here. I got to make sure that they can go through TSA with me. So, no nunchucks. These cannot go through TSA. Just checked. I'm more likely to learn how to use these better than I am to read War and Peace or lose weight. Ooh, One year I carried a kind bar with me everywhere I went. And there was the year with the pack of Kleenex. Oh, and that year I also carried matches. They came in really handy. But here's how they came in handy. It wasn't just because they were for me. I had to constantly replace that kind bar because I kept giving it away over and over to other hungry people. And the matches I had to replace a few times because it turned out that there were all these chalices that needed to be lit. And I've got matches. A whole group of people couldn't start worship until, well, I've got matches. Oh, and the Kleenexes? If you have a package of tissue during allergy season, you are a kindness waiting to happen. Those 3 things in my purse, they weighed less than 8 ounces, but they facilitated really good relationships throughout the whole year, relationships with myself and with the people around me. I don't know. So consider it. Maybe you'll pick up some things that you will carry with you this year. Maybe a little notebook, maybe a little bag of pistachios, maybe a good pen. Not so good that losing it will make a problem for you. Good, and the kind you could give away if you need to. Perhaps instead of resolutions to change yourself, which is, I'm afraid, a vow that comes with it, the seed of failure, perhaps you will commit to carrying something. Carrying something unessential. Yes, it'll be a burden to remember it. A scrap of poetry, a clean handkerchief, a photograph. Just for 1 year. And carrying something unessential, you'll be giving yourself the opportunities to contemplate that thing and the relationships that it facilitates or heals. And I'm saying unessential, but I don't mean useless. Because you're already carrying the essential things, right? Your house keys, your identification, maybe some medication. Those are the things you can't really get very far without, right? Unessential means the things that you can survive without, but useful in that they will help you establish and maintain those good relationships with yourself and with others around you. Because while you are busily beginning and living in the now, there will be others alongside you. And it's likely that they might be sneezing or looking for some light or a little bit hungry. Pack lightly for this year. Choose carefully what you will carry. Discard the old narratives that perpetuate your suffering, or at least rewrite them. And prepare yourself to become more generous. Because you are essential to this now. Because that is exactly what time it is. Go out and write the future with each breath. May it be so.